So, sorry, I'm just a bit nervous because I don't join lives usually.
Okay.
But anyway, so since I'm 13 years old, I have always been in relationships, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like just long-term relationships, one after another. Like all 3 years, 4 years, and so on until I'm 25 now, basically. And I have just recently got out of it because I just felt like I've never actually been, single and all. Anyway, somehow there was this guy who is my dad's friend, and he is pretty old in comparison. He's 44, I'm
Mm.
25. And I was pretty close minded about it. I'm actually embarrassed to say this story. So he's 44, and we've met and once only. And surprisingly, I actually did like his personality pretty much. And afterwards, my dad asked him, like, so what do you think and stuff like that. And he said that I'm too young, and he is worried that I'm too young, basically. You get it? Even though the conversation went well and he was saying that, okay, we'll go out, we'll do this and that. And yeah, so he didn't text me, and now I'm thinking of texting him. But I've been telling myself that I just got single so I can stay single. So I feel like I'm in this stage of confusion, that I don't know what I should do.
What you should do? Like,
Yeah, as in like he's an older man, so I'm worried about if I text him, then I don't know how like a man would view that, because as I said, I haven't been single, so I don't really interact much, and usually it has been relationships with friends. So I've never been into the dating and how to approach things, or should I just stay single, and
how long
so
did
from your
your
life experience, basically, what do you think?
all right, right? How long ago did your last relationship end?
Again,
How long ago did your last relationship end?
around 2 weeks ago.
How
But I
long?
think it ended way before that. I was just,
Okay,
seeing it through.
gotcha. And how long did the relationship last?
2 years and a half.
Okay. And what do you want to do in this situation?
What did you say? Sorry.
What do you want to do in this situation?
Honestly, I really don't know, because I think I've studied abroad, so I'm mentally westernized, but I am in not a westernized area. Like I'm in the Middle East, so it's I don't know actually. That's the issue.
Okay. So I will tell you this. If you've been in relationships pretty much since you said 15 years old, um, that likely means that you haven't really forged an identity outside of some sort of romantic connection. And a lot of people who find themselves in this situation don't really know who they are if they don't have a romantic interest. So they feel a lot of urgency when it comes to finding another one. So the best thing for you to do in this situation is to learn to enjoy your time with yourself so you can figure out who you are. In doing so, that will ensure that you, A, don't rush into a bad situation, and B, won't be willing to stay in a bad situation just to have someone, and C, will actually be more attractive to higher quality people because you know who you are, you know what your values are, you have a deeply rooted sense of self, which higher quality people tend to find attractive.
Okay. Okay, that's fair, actually. Okay, thank you so much for your advice. I think deep down I knew that, but it's just, you want someone to say it to you, then it would make more sense.
Hmm.
So thank you so much
No problem,
for the
dear.
advice.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you, all right?
Okay, have a good
You
day.
too. All right. Who we got next? Who do we have next? What's going on, people? If you have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, any kind of problem that you have, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person, request up. and I will solve your issue guaranteed. You can also drop your question in the chat and I will answer it there. Just be advised that callers get first priority, all right? So if you type a question in the chat, the caller comes in, I will ignore your question and talk to the caller. So if you want a guaranteed answer and a higher quality answer, it's best to call in. Best to call in. Who else here is in a similar situation as our previous caller? Not the age gap. I doubt many people here are in that situation, but more so feeling like they have to have someone. Let's see if Shorty can match. Hello? Nope. A lot of gibberish going on. My boyfriend for 8 years is having a relationship with a white girl. All right, you got a question there? Or you just wanted to give us an update? Just want to give us all an update. Got you a bunny hopper, huh? You know what Dr. Umar calls it? They say a woman, hold on. They say women should not fight for a man. Why? Why can't a woman fight for love? Yeah, y'all gotta get out of this like romantic comedy mindset. You shouldn't have to fight for it. There's things you can work on, but that can't be one-sided. Even if you're like working on a relationship of some sort, it requires two people to be on the same page. So two people have to agree to that intention. If it's one-sided, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm great. What can I do for you?
Okay, so me and this guy have been talking for 6 months, and I'm 20 and he's 21 going on 22. His birthday's in August.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good in the beginning and everything. Like, he was into it and everything. I was into it. But, I was a little scared because, I'm avoidant and everything. So, and then there was a situation that happened. It wasn't really like that serious, but to me it was serious, and I just left him like clueless because I didn't really want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically pulled back, and then we stopped talking for like a few weeks, and then I reached out again because I felt bad, and then he was like, "Oh, you left me, da 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 da," and I was like, I felt bad and I wanted to fix stuff. So I guess he like kind of felt a type of way, and he was like, "Oh, I went all in with you and you were just scared a little." But recently, like, we hung out, we were getting back on good terms and everything, and he was just we were really good. Like, we hung out, we talked about stuff, and then he dropped me off home on the 4th of July because I spent time with my family and my friend that came to visit me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just being very, not dry, but like very like not into the conversation. But at the same time, during the times we were talking through like the 6 months, he was like, "Oh, can you just like leave me, da 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 da," and then he was saying like, "Oh, I don't want to go, da 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 da," and I'm just like, I don't know really what to do, and I don't think he thinks that I'm being for real with him, so I don't know what to do in the situation.
So he said he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go where?
Like, he doesn't want to like stop talking to me. Like, he doesn't want to cut things off.
So what is the problem?
Like, in person, he like acts like really nice, like very, into it. But then later on, like when we're not together, he's like very like avoidant.
In what way?
Like when we're texting, like I don't feel like he's into it, the conversation.
What is he specifically doing that's giving you that impression?
like the dry responses.
Okay. How long ago did y'all kind of like reestablish a connection?
Um, like a good week ago, but we have been like getting better, but it's always like he's pulling back and I'm like trying to still like, you know, pull in, but he's like also I'm also pulling back because he knows I can be avoidant, but I'm trying to like, recover from that and everything.
Uh huh. So when you say that he doesn't want to leave the connection, how did that surface? Like, how did that conversation reveal itself?
Um, so I was just like I work, so I'm really not on my phone because I have no time to like eat or like go on my phone while I'm working. So I was like, hello, like I said good morning to him and everything. And then after I had got off work, he didn't even say anything. So I texted him again and he was just like, he was like saying bye to me and stuff. And he was like, um, I was just like, there's no reason to go. Like, we can take things slow. Like, I don't need to put so much pressure on you. And he was like, I only look at flowers, I don't pick at them. Um, and then he was saying, and I was just like, kind of reassuring him. And then he was like, I don't want to go. Um, and so I'm like just kind of confused there.
Yeah, you and me both. I don't really know what we're talking about. So when he said, I don't want to go, what was he responding to?
I was just like, I was like, then stay, like we can work this out and everything. Um, yeah, I was just like reassuring him, like saying like we can take baby steps. I'm not saying like it has to be like we have to be good like by tomorrow. Like it takes time obviously to build up.
What prompted this conversation?
Um, because he was telling me like he was gonna leave.
He was going to leave what, the connection?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're confusing me, love. What did he say he was going to leave the connection for?
Um, he was, I don't know, honestly. He was just, I feel like it was just too much for him or he just didn't believe it because he's been hurt in the past. So he probably doesn't think I'm for real with him.
Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to get a lot of clarity here because you're kind of being very vague in your language. So I'm just going to give you my answer. Okay. So a lot of the times when men are investing in a connection and the woman does something to hurt them or pull back or ghost them, like you did in this situation, you get demoted. So first you were being vetted for actual relationship. Then you did what you did. So now you've been demoted more than likely to just someone potentially to entertain and have fun with. Once you get demoted, it's hard to come back because what's to say that you won't do the same thing again? The
Yeah.
thing is you likely will. Because here's the thing with people who are avoidant, they typically need space to process their emotions and to determine how they feel about you. So a lot of avoidantly attached people, they'll leave a relationship because it's overwhelming, and then they'll feel relief. And then after some time passes, they start, those emotions they were suppressing start bubbling up, and they're like, oh, I actually do want to be with that person. They try to come back. But then if they come back and they're accepted back in warm arms, over time, the thing that made them leave initially, that feeling comes back again, and then they distance themselves again.
Yeah, I feel like it's like back and forth with that situation, what you just said.
Right.
Like,
So,
yeah.
so yeah, this is unlikely to work, partially because of how young you two are, but then two, because you've already kind of sealed your fate by ghosting him the first time. It's definitely something to get control over. Communication can go a long way. So if you ever do feel overwhelmed, just communicate that. Okay? So give yourself grace, but communicate that. All right? If someone can't understand that you may need time to kind of process things, then they probably aren't going to be a good fit for you because if you are avoiding, like you say, you're going to need, time apart just so you can kind of feel what you're feeling because it's hard for avoidance to access how they're feeling when intimacy is a part of the connection. Okay? And but ghosting is not going to you're going to keep doing that over and over and over again. And then you're going to be 30 years old calling back into this show and trying to figure out how to save it. And then by then
Yeah, and
it's
I
harder.
don't want that to happen. Like, I feel
Okay.
like just going back and forth. And yes, I give him his space and everything, but I just don't want to keep the same cycle going. Going like avoidant.
Yeah,
And
so
then
the first thing,
being kumbaya when we both like
the easiest change to make is it's going to be very challenging for you to start like being able to metabolize intimacy in a healthy way, meaning not running when you feel that overwhelm. That's something that's going to take time. But an easy thing to change right now is communicating. Just using your words when you feel that way. So if you feel a way and you start get overwhelmed, just communicate that. Let the person know it's not about them. Reassure them, and then take 2 days or so to like kind of isolate yourself to feel what you're feeling. That's the first change that I will make. If you just make that change, you will eliminate the problem that you're calling in about, which is you completely ghosted somebody. Now they think you're not fucking with them for real, and therefore they're not going to give you that energy that they previously gave you. Okay.
But can we come back from that? Can we like upcome that?
I just said once you get demoted, it's hard to come back, love, because now trust has been lost. It's possible, but it's not probable. This is why this is something to change, because avoidant people do want someone. It's just hard for them to actually have the capacity to hold what they actually want. So, and then if you do this over and over and over again with different people, you start to build a lot of shame internally. Avoidantly attached people have a lot of shame because they're very much aware of the people who they've hurt unintentionally because they did not know how to metabolize the connection. So for this situation, you can see, time will tell, but if he's already behaving differently and then already saying that he wants to leave it alone, odds are not in your favor.
He says he wants to leave it alone, but he keeps like coming in contact with me and everything.
Well, then that at least means that he's conflicted.
He's conflicted if he wants to stay or go.
Yes. Like I said, I need you to really hear me because I think your brain is hyperfixating on how can I maintain this connection. So if I say something that doesn't connect to that, I think it's going to go in one ear and out the other. I need you to hear me. This is likely not to work. You can give it time to see if it works, but you kind of already did damage by ghosting him. Most men are not going to want to entertain you for an actual relationship after you've already shown them you're not capable of having one. You've shown him that you are not capable of having one. Right now you're in it because he's not pressuring you. But let's say he does give himself to the relationship again. Okay, you're going to feel the exact same way that made you leave the first time. You're not feeling that way right now because he's not putting any pressure on you. And he's not putting any pressure on you because he is likely not wanting to have you for real.
Okay.
Okay.
I see where like you're coming from and everything. Yes, like I might have like pressure on me like when he did in the beginning, and I know how to handle it now, but it's just the fact that like
You don't know how to handle it now. That's not how that works. Me telling you what I just told you makes intellectual sense. But once you feel those feelings again that made you run, people tend to run again. There's women and men who are 30, 40, 50, 60 who have the exact same problem you have right now, who all intellectually know what they should do and they still don't do it.
So you think it's best to like just leave it alone?
You can
or,
give
like,
it
talk
you
to
can
him
give it
about
time, but you can't force it. So you can give it another month and see if you show up consistently, will he lean back into that connection? That solves your first problem. Second problem is, what are you going to do when he leans back into the connection? Because that's when you get triggered. So you got two problems. First one is he going to ever lean back in? Second one is, when he does, am I going to lean out?
Okay. So I just have to give it time.
You give it time to see, to get clarity over the situation. Once you see that, if you see that he leans back in, cool. If you see that he doesn't, then you have your answer. But no, giving it time is not going to make him magically lean back in. Giving it time is going to give you more clarity of reality.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem, love. Best luck to you.
Thank you.
I don't trust anybody in the queue right now. We're going to see. Fingers crossed. Yes, baby, give him time. Who's next? Y'all want that call to end that bad? You got to give her some grace, man. She's 20. She's 20. All right, who else do we got? Remember, if you have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, any kind of problem you want clarity on, hit that button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up and we'll solve your issue, all right? But this is not for matchmaking. So you're not here to find a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's not something I would help you with. You got to take responsibility for that yourself. Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, I guess.
All right. What can I do for you?
The thing is, my sister goes to the same school with my girlfriend, my current girlfriend. So then a few days ago, Saturday, she told me that she's not the person she thought she was, because she started January, and so now in January she had a certain opinion of her, and now July she's not the type of person we think that she is. And when I asked her, she said she's dating two people in the school. So I'm a first year, and she's in high school, final senior in high school. So now I had this thing that it can't be true. See,
brother, can you hey, hold on.
Guy.
Can you turn the background noise off? I can barely hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I confronted her about one of the guys that they're saying she's seeing, she said that he's just the guy she knows she met him when he was in grade 9 and she was a junior in high school. So now I'm like, now he's doing grade 11 and she's still a senior, so she repeated a year. So I'm like, why are you hanging out with a junior who you claim that you recognize from that time, and you don't have a connection with him? And I've told her before that I've set this boundary with her that I don't feel comfortable when she's like I don't mind if she has guy friends, you see, I don't mind. But if it's like now that people see and speculate that they're dating, then that's an issue, you see. Because now when I asked her about it, she denied it and said that there's nothing going on. But then I'm asking myself that why would my sister lie about her? See? So and then she started to gaslight me and saying that I also hang out with other girls. And I said, those girls I see them. One of them has the same last name as me. So I treat her as a sister, and everyone who knows me and her, we've been in school together for a long time. So I don't see her in that way. And she also knows that. She also knows that she's seen me with her and she knows her. Nothing is happening. So she tried. So she tried to like turn the whole situation against me.
Okay.
So now, and then when I tried to like explain it to her that there's nothing happening here, there's nothing happening, she straight up said that, well, let's talk later. Let's talk when I get home and my battery is at 1%, and then nothing after that. She hasn't brought it up. When I try to bring it up, she avoids it. And yesterday, which was Sunday, I texted, and she has not tried to clear things up until today, and nothing has happened.
Okay. How long have you been with her?
1.5 years.
Okay. What did your sister observe that made her think that your girlfriend was entertaining somebody else?
She says that they're always hanging out and doing things that would show that they're together, you see. But when I ask her what specific thing, she refrains from telling me, and she says that it's gonna hurt me and all that stuff. But she doesn't want me to get hurt, and I'm like, okay, just tell me. But she doesn't want to. But she says that they're doing things that that people who are dating would do. She didn't go into specifics though.
Okay. Well then what question do you have here, bro?
My question is, how should I react to this? Should I wait for her to like clarify and explain, or take the step and just leave?
That last one.
Leave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
No problem, brother. You take care.
Take care. Thank you.
He just needed to get that out. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just need to get it out. But yeah, bro. He got Shorty up against a locker right now. You gotta get out of that situation. You gotta get out of that situation. L's sister though. Low key. What do you mean? You already opened the door. You already opened Pandora's box. You might as well tell me everything. You know what I mean? What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, who else we got? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. What's going on?
So hi, so I'm just gonna say from the beginning, my English is not perfect, so I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Doing good so
So
far.
I'm just I'm basically just looking for a man's perspective and maybe some, just a different opinion on my situation, because when I talk to my girlfriend, obviously on my side, and I just want to make sure that that I've been clear with my intentions. So I met this guy like last year, and we have been talking and conversating and just getting to know each other basically.
Right.
And he asked me, I think it was in February, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I told him, just for context, I live in Germany and he lives in Portugal. And I told him that I'm willing for a relationship, but I'm not looking for a long distance relationship. Because I feel like I'm 27 and he's 30, and I think that he should focus on getting his life together, because he's like, oh, I want to move again. I don't want to live in Portugal, so I'm looking maybe Belgium or Germany. And I told him, I think you should figure out first where you're supposed to go, and then we can figure it out. And I told him, that's what I told him. And he basically said, he was very angry with it, because he was like, you're just basically wasting my time, because why have we been talking for months and you're just now saying it? And I told him, because you never actually asked me to be your girlfriend and you're just now voicing it. And I have to tell you my position. I have to tell you that even though I like you, I know the person that I am, and I'm not looking for a long distance. And that's So yeah, that was in February, and we stopped talking for like 3 months. And then he called me again. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Very, I think angry, just like annoyed. And he was just like, "Look, I met this girl. We've been talking, and she wants to be with me. But I just wanted to make sure that that you are certain on your decision on like not being with me, because I really like you and I want to be with you." And I told him again, "Look, if you make a decision where you're going, or like decide finally if you want to live where you want to live, I can think of it, but I'm not gonna say yes to a long distance relationship when I don't even know your plans for the future." So basically, I'm just looking from a man's perspective. Why would he like not make a decision on his life before, or like not make a decision and then ask me to be his girlfriend, or like why is that so important? Like, why is that so important for him to have a girlfriend before making a decision like that? Because my fear is like later on, let's say I say yes and we start dating, I don't want to like later on be married with him, whatever, and he starts resenting me for living in Germany, because I told him I'm not moving. Like, I'm staying here. I don't have any plans to live in another country. So yeah, I'm just more or less looking for a different perspective on the situation, like a man's perspective.
How did y'all meet?
So I was on vacation in Portugal with my cousin and some friends, and we have a mutual friend that is his cousin. So we went to the club together, and that's where I met him.
Okay. And then
So we were at the club, and then we left the club all together. We went to eat something, and then we exchanged numbers, and we just kind of start speaking from that point.
so this has only been so that's the only time you've seen him in person?
I've seen him. I've been to Portugal 3 times since then, so I've seen him 3 times in total.
Okay. Have y'all slept together?
And we have been texting and sorry,
Have y'all slept together?
no,
Okay.
he didn't even take me on a date, to be honest.
Okay. What is your reason for entertaining him?
I was because he always told me that he wanted to live in Germany, or maybe Belgium, and I was thinking, well, if he decides to come to Germany, then I can see a strength for a relationship, because when we talk, we actually have fun, and I think he's also someone that like when he's very like in touch with himself, like he knows when he's wrong, and he knows when to apologize, and I appreciate that when someone has that insight about themselves. So yeah, I thought he had good qualities. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But for me, it was always a big no, like a long distance relationship.
Okay. Okay. So the tactical error here was entertaining him in the first place, considering that you weren't even open to the prospect of a long distance relationship. Right? Like we gotta stop keeping stuff in our heads. I've been in situations like that before, where like the thing that ends the connection was something that was known at the beginning. It's like, why did you not anticipate this problem? You already knew this was going to be an issue. And the way that I take it is a lot of people aren't really like forward thinking. They don't really think how things are going to play out. They're just enjoying the moment. But you can enjoy the moment and also think about how things are going to play out. So if you know you're not open to a long distance relationship, then don't entertain anyone who was long distance.
Yeah, I get that. I saw one comment here that said, like, we didn't even sleep together or something like that. I just wanted to say that both of us are Christians, so we're not having any intercourse before marriage.
Okay.
And also, I have a lot of friends in my Christian community that had like long distance, and where the guy like or her, they moved and then they started the relationship. So I've seen it in my circle that people have done it, but I've also seen that whoever moved later on became like resentful, and that's what I didn't want for myself. I just didn't want him to resent me later on because I made him move.
Yeah, all of those are possibilities. It's like any kind of relationship is going to have, like, things that resent. There are women who gave birth to a child that they resent the man for because he's not really helping as much. And there's male versions of that as well, that he resents the woman for some sort of reason. Maybe he's paying all the bills, but then she's not holding up her end in the bargain, right? You're always going to have some sort of issue that you have to navigate, or potential issue that you have to navigate, for sure. But normally with these long distance relationships, people get into the relationship and then they start seeing one another, and then they start moving towards plans of like who's moving where. So you kind of kept in your head, okay, he's going to have to move here, but then it wasn't communicated until he made the request for there to be a relationship. So I can see both sides of this. I can see your side for sure. I can also see why he was annoyed. Because he's thinking like, why did you even, because he's probably thinking like, we get into a long distance relationship and then we just see each other long distance for a while, right? And then you're basically being like, I'm not doing that. You're going to have to move here for me to be your girlfriend. And he's like, well, why did we been talking this so long? And that was never mentioned, So you got to communicate. But for you, considering that you're not open to moving at all, and then you're also sensitive to the likelihood of the person moving and resenting you, I wouldn't do long distance, period.
Yeah, that's not something I'm looking for at all. Yeah, I understood him a little bit, but from my perspective, I thought that I was very clear. Well, until that point where he asked me and I told him no. But I don't know if it was also a mistake to keep the door open. Because in my head, from our conversations, he was always very determined, very much like, yes, if you say yes, then I'm coming. And yeah, I just didn't want to be the reason for it.
You didn't want to be the reason for him to move?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think so he's basically saying, if you say yes, be my girlfriend, then I'm coming to Germany?
Yeah.
Okay, but then you're holding yourself back, love. You're basically running from a potential scenario. That's like not getting on the road and driving because you could get in a car accident.
Yeah, I get that, but that's the whole thing in my head. Is like, I don't want him to resent me later on.
Yeah,
if it's me making the decision.
That's a possibility, sure. But he could resent you for another reason. You could resent him for another reason. Why are you're not looking at reality, you're looking at a potential problem that can have, which probably means there's a bit of avoidance going on here.
Most likely, yes.
So you're hyperfixating on a reason that you connected to justify not getting closer with this person. So you got to face that, love, because it sounds like he would absolutely come there and be with you. You see, in the chat, we got to stop jumping to conclusions. I saw somebody said that he wanted her to pay for him to move to Germany. These people always jump to conclusions without asking questions.
I don't think that's the case. I didn't see that comment. I don't think that's the case because he also has family here.
I got you. You don't have to defend that. I know it's not the case. You know, people tend to oversimplify things. So, you're holding yourself back from this connection. So that's the work that you have to do, is figure out, like, why are you afraid of getting closer?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's probably held you back before, right? I'm sure this has probably held you back from connections before, like some different reason.
Yeah, I think I tend to look for reasons why it wouldn't work. And I think this one was more like it was easier to reject because of the distance. And I think I'm just having a hard time with it because I do like him, but at the same time,
So you got to face that fear. Until you move, like lean in when you feel that discomfort instead of leaning out, you're going to be doomed to repeat the same pattern for the rest of your life. It's never going to feel comfortable. It's all that feeling that you feel you're always going to feel that way. So what has to change is your behavior. It requires courage. So you have to lean in when you naturally want to lean out. And in doing so, you prove to your nervous system that connection isn't dangerous. And then you start to rewire it a bit to where this isn't as big of an issue. But if you keep playing the same pattern that you're playing out now, this does not end well, because you don't find connections like this one, which I'm sure you know from experience. You don't find connections like the one that you're describing often.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I really just wanted a different perspective because my friends obviously are on my side on this. So, yeah, thank you so much.
No problem, dear. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Lindsay, you said she pissed you off. Again, if y'all have something that's secretly sabotaging you, you want clarity on a situation, you're in a situation where you don't know what to do next, you've been spiraling, and you just want a step-by-step roadmap so you can move forward in confidence instead of spending the next 6 months spiraling. Look at how much time we just saved her. We saved her a decade probably in playing out the same pattern in one phone call. So if you want to go deeper, you should book a 1-hour coaching call. You see this icon right here. There's a button that looks like it at the bottom of the screen. Hit that, shoot me a message, and I'll send you a link to book your call. If you're watching on Facebook, DM me the word coach, and I'll send you a link to book your call. But you see how we sabotage ourselves, people? That's not necessary. It's not necessary. She has someone who's willing to be with her right now. Literally said, if you agree to be in a relationship, I'll move to Germany. We just, all these justifications, they rationalize shit. I made a video today saying how, like, you got to be careful with long distance relationships because avoidantly attached people are the subset of the population who are most open to long distance relationships. The distance serves the function to keep them safe. So when you close the gap with them, they tend to do a 180. Or when things start to move towards seriousness, like, okay, I'm going to move to you, or I want to move to your city, or move you to mine, that's when you get that, like, avoid and discard. So you got to be careful. Got to be careful.
I think the referee's
Hello.
call was horrible. I had nothing to do with the decision. What I did have to do
All
was,
right.
I said, I think they should be reviewed.
Got a Trumper on, huh? Somebody watching Fox News. Hello. Hello. Angela, are you there? What, does she freeze? Y'all be getting scared and freezing like possums when y'all come up here unintentionally. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. I just want to ask. Well, me and my ex broke up in maybe March, and we dated for like just over a year. But then we kind of just broke up because we were both just fed up about fighting, and like it's just we were really bad at handling our communication when like things got really like emotional. But you know, we didn't fight too much. It's just like the way we fought was bad, and then so we tried working on our relationship and trying to get like see if we could be together again. And then again, like I think he was just using his trauma from our past fights when we were dating to have excuses for his like bad behavior now, even though he's the one that kind of like asked for me to try again with him.
Okay.
And then it just really confused me because I'm like, hey, you're the one that came to me, even though you kind of like did the final breakup, begging me to like try and see this through. But then now you're being closed off and using the excuse of like, oh, well, I'm traumatized, I'm scared. And it's like, I'm kind of traumatized too in a way, right? And it's like we both hurt each other, but like clearly we both want to like make this work. But it's just like really frustrating because I'm not like using this trauma card, and it's like how can we move forward if like we're just complaining about stuff and making excuses, like and I don't think he's like trying to pull a victim card, but like it feels like he is, but it's just that I don't think he knows how to figure out his emotions and like move forward the way we both want to do this. But I don't know if it's just like kind of stupid, and I don't want to come off like I'm like explaining, acting like I know better, because every time I try to say like, look, like I just think you need to understand what you really want, and you say you want this, so therefore like you have to kind of understand like the way we hurt each other wasn't because we wanted to. It's just like we grew up differently, so I don't know, you know what I mean?
What kind of excuses are being used?
Like he'll be like, well, this is what you, if he is very like screaming at me and like cussing at me, I'll be like, I'm not talking to you, and I'll like walk away or I'll hang up the phone, whatever the case is. And he's like, well, you just hang up on me. And I'm like, well, you can't talk to me like that. And like at the beginning, I used to take it to heart. I used to be super upset, but now I know like he just can't control himself in like these like rare moments. So I don't like internalize it. But then like to him, it's like, oh, I'm hanging up on him, I'm being disrespectful. But to me, it's like you're doing something you should never be doing to begin with. And like I have like, I know I shouldn't be talking to a person who talks to me like this, but it's not most of the time. It's very rare. And I just think he hasn't grown up in that way where he can't control his anger. And I think he had bad parents to begin with that like didn't really show him how to act. So I kind of give him grace for that reason.
So why did y'all break up?
We broke up because we were just both frustrated when we had differences, and like in different moments he thought he was more reasonable, but like I thought I was reasonable, but there was no like common ground. We could never get to like the same conclusion. Like he just thought all my friends were bad, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Like how it just seems like you're trying to isolate me, and I felt like he was being evil, but then I guess like I don't know, he genuinely thought there was like some big red flags. But
What did he not like about your friends?
he just didn't like how they went out and like they had boyfriends, but like they're not like cheating on their mans. Like they just like to go out when they can. And like I guess I don't know, he just like villainized that.
Would you go out with them?
For their birthdays, very rare occasions, but it wasn't like a common thing.
So he would get mad about them going out even though you weren't out with them at the time?
Yeah, and then when I would go out for their birthdays and stuff, he'd be like, he wouldn't say you can't go, but then he'd kind of show attitude about it.
Okay.
But again, like, I just think his like background is the way he thinks like this. Like I tried to explain to him, and he became more open as we started dating, and like he became better at everything and like more normal and less like crazy. But then I just think it's like the background.
Hold on. I got it. We gotta stop talking about his past. Everyone has a past, so that's not an excuse. You don't want to weaponize empathy against yourself, because you got to extend that to its logical conclusion. Does that mean you should be with a narcissist? They had bad childhoods. That's how you make a narcissist, right? So you don't want to weaponize empathy against yourself to justify being with somebody. But what caused the breakup, though? Because you just said he didn't like. When I asked you what kind of conflict y'all were having, you said he doesn't like your friends. And then you gave me the example of going out. And now you're saying that got better over time. So what caused the breakup?
I think it's just like I'm very on time, and I think we have different love languages. Like I like doing things for people, or like just like showing up in different ways. But then he just kind of wanted like verbal affirmations, and I guess I was kind of bad at that. But like I did everything else I could show to like make him feel loved, but because I didn't do this like one thing, he kind of felt like, oh, well, you don't love me. And I was just like, this is so ridiculous. Like, you're so immature. Like, how could you say that after, like, I meal prep for you, I let it come over, like, make sure, like, I don't know, you live in a nice place and everything's clean. And it's like, I tried to, like, get to know your friends, get and, like, be close with your mom and stuff. And it's like, you don't show that same effort, but, like, you show them what you love in different ways, and I can understand that, and I appreciate it. But then it was just, like, kind of immature. But I think, like, within the moments we've like been trying to like I guess, see if we can be together. He feels like a more grown person. Like, but then again, like the moments I'm like confused about is when he's like, oh, well, you're just gonna act like this again. So I don't even think I could be with you. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you just dragged me all for what? Like, I'm so confused what you want because he's like a different person sometimes.
Okay. So I'm still confused because it sounds like you're giving me like random issues without telling me why you broke up. Was it a fight that broke you up? Like, what is the core issue? Or is there no core issue?
I don't think there was a core issue. It was just like combined everything. Like, I think he got stressed out with work, but like the timing with our fighting, it just like he thought that our relationship was gonna ruin his like work life because he couldn't balance both or something. And so he was just like, okay, I can't do this right now. And then he just cut me off.
So that sounds like it was a lot of conflict in the relationship.
Yeah, towards the end. Like, it all happened really fast and blew up.
Okay, what kind of conflict were we having near the end?
It was just about communication. Like, he wouldn't show up on time. Like, he'd always be 5-10 minutes late. But then, like, I was the one making the distance. Like, I was the one making the journey all the way to him. So to me, it's like, I'm spending an hour to get to you, but yet you're 5 minutes late to, like, pick me up. You know what I mean? And, like, and I'm like, why can't you just be on time? Like, I think that means a lot. And he would be like, dude, it's only 5 minutes. And I'm like, but I'm the one that came, like, I'm the one that made the journey. You know? And then he'd just get, like, aggravated at me. I'm, like, complaining. And, like, I just seemed like a bitch all the time that's never happy. He's like, it's so hard to please you. And I'm like, oh, my God. And obviously I would say these things when we first meet. Because, like, it's like, I came to him and, like, I'm frustrated that I'm having to wait. But then he'd be just like, oh, my God, you're already mad. And I'm just, like, and it was just kind of, like, little things like that.
Okay. When little things are a problem, that often points towards resentment is an issue.
Yeah, I think it was just a little things and all the resentment that built up that made us like break up. But then like ultimately, like after months of like being separated, like I don't know, decided we want to see if we can work things out.
Who
Can I
initiated?
please ask a question?
No. How who initiated trying to work things out?
He did.
Okay. What did he say?
He just said like he regretted a lot of things and then that like he misses me a lot and then he doesn't even remember like breaking up. Like it's been really hard for him and like I don't know.
Okay. How long were y'all together?
Like a year and like 2 months.
And how did you meet?
Through a friend in school.
Okay. How old are you two?
I'm 23, 24.
Okay. Yeah. And you want to get back together?
I do. Like, I don't think he's a bad person. I think he has like a lot of like small problems that we work through. I think it's just like a switch. Like once you like kind of understand what I'm saying, then it's like there's no problem there.
How long ago did he start the new job?
Well, he actually switched jobs within the past month. But that job he started last summer.
Okay.
So maybe like I don't know, 9-10 months.
Okay. So the job he started last summer was the job that he felt like the relationship was going to cause him to not perform at?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how long had like conflict started to increase?
Like when he started working is when we started like fighting.
Okay. So 9 months ago.
Yeah, ish. But then yeah, that we like broken up in between the 9 months, you know, like it's been.
Okay. So he starts a new job, and then how long before y'all break up?
He started a new job and then we dated for like he started a new job in the summer and then we broke up in the winter ish, like the end of winter.
Okay. And you said that he switched roles again?
Yeah.
Does this new role have less of a workload?
I would say it's equal. Like
Okay, so getting back together is not going to be a solution. You got to solve the actual problem. People do this all the time.
well, I don't think the work's the actual problem.
It's not
I
that
think
it's not that work is the actual problem. It is if he has a large workload or if it's important to him to some degree, it decreases his capacity. Meaning fights that probably wouldn't happen because maybe he ignores it, he doesn't ignore it. because he's already kind of stressed out. Like, think about it, if you're tired, right? You're like real sleepy or really hungry, right? Your capacity decreases. So things that normally wouldn't set you off, you have a bit more patience with, do set you off. Does that make sense?
But then it's like, then why, in his like moments, then why is he trying to make this work?
Because you two probably like each other and miss one another, or one or both parties are used to having somebody and don't like being by themselves. So the issue is going to be, you want to get back together, great, but you still haven't solved the actual problem. The problems that caused you to break up are still going to be very present when you get back together. You break up because you don't know how to solve the problem. Breaking up is the last resort. So when people break up, it's because they're lacking the tools to solve the problem or the awareness of what the problem even is. So then they get back
But
together.
you don't think like you can learn the tools to solve the problem?
You absolutely can. My question, why didn't you learn the tools before you broke up?
Well, I think like before we broke up.
Yes. Because you break up because you don't have the tools. So that means whatever you were doing was not working, so you broke up.
Yeah, but I think like maybe now that like we've had space and calmed down from the situation, like maybe
That's not how that works.
the tools can be,
Nope.
or is that not
Nope.
make sense?
That's not how it works. It's just that it's you had your hand on a hot stove and you're like, it's too hot, I can't do it. You don't know how to turn the stove down. So it's like, it's too hot, I can't do it. Take my hand off. Then your hand heals and you're like, maybe it's not as hot anymore. No, it's still as hot. You gotta learn how to turn the stove off. And you don't know how to do that. It's clear to me you don't know how to do it because this has been a very long call and we've had a hard time articulating what the actual issue is. So I don't think you know what the actual issue is. I think it is a degree of incompatibility here and an unwillingness to hear the other side on both sides, to be honest. So there's not a lot of like, let me understand your perspective. This is my perspective. And then the other person's like, well, this is my perspective. And both people are clinging to their worldview.
Well, we've had these conversations obviously with us like hearing each other out, and then it's like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Like, I'm sorry you felt that way. It wasn't meant to be that way. And then we both like said these things to each other, and it's like, okay,
You're going to have
if the intention wasn't
there's going to be if this is you have to solve one problem at a time, right? So here's the first thing, right? Let's use the being late example, right? Just expect him to be 5 minutes late. It's not a reflection of how he feels about you. It's probably a character trait. So you're setting yourself up to be mad because he's doing exactly what he's always done. Right? Now, and he has to do the same on his issue, whatever his issue may be. Okay? So you just find little ways to solve these issues one at a time.
I mean, yeah, no, when we've been trying lately, like, he still does those things, and I just, like, I don't villainize for it, but again, it's like, I'm not seeing it back to back, where I'm, like, annoyed. I just, like, try to not be angry at him, because obviously we're here for a reason.
Mm-hmm. You could try it again, love, but if behavior doesn't change, you're just going to end up in
it's
the
just
same
confusing, because,
situation.
like, he keeps asking to see me, but then, like, when I'm with him, he'll, like, act so distant.
Has he
And
always
it's
done
like,
that?
Sorry?
Has he always done that?
No. Not before. And it's like,
When did that happen?
maybe it's like starting a month ago when we like, yeah,
When you started what?
like just seeing each other again.
Okay. And how is he acting distant?
Well, at the very beginning, he was like acting like his normal, like loving version, and then like slowly that person left, and then like he still asked to see me, but then yeah, randomly he'd just be like super cold, and like he wouldn't want me like near him, and like it was just strange. But he's like wanted to make me. He's like, oh, let's go to dinner. Like I want to take you out here. But then if I like try to grab his arm, he like shakes me off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, like, you're taking me out. Like, you want to hang out with me. Like, what's... But, like, me... And he's very, like, physical touch, too. Like, he made me... Like, I hated that shit before, but then after I started dating him for a year, I got used to it. And then now that I'm, like... It's kind of like muscle memory, almost. And I don't even notice that I, like, reach for him.
There might
But
be
then, like, when
there
he
might
shakes
be
me off-
some degree of fearful avoidant attachment here, where he's both anxious and avoidant, which is predicated by there being some internal contradictions, where they want you, but then if you get too close, they don't want you. probably connects to the trauma that you were talking about in the past. If you want my actual opinion, incompatibility, move on.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're just going to perpetually stay in this confusing cycle. There's going to be a lot that you will have to change on both ends in order to make it work. And if you're already seeing that he's like emotionally distant, that's something that doesn't really improve that often. So I wouldn't bet on it. The more time you entertain him, the more, I don't need any more butts. Look, I got to keep the calls moving. But
Okay.
the more that you
Thank you.
continue to engage him, the more you're going to delay meeting the person who you can have a better connection with. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, dear. You take care. CJ, were you trying to shoot? I saw you in the chat. Yo,
Hello.
what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Great, bro. Hope you are. What can I do for you?
So, it's a little bit of a sticky situation. I have been talking to. Hold on, I might get shut out here.
You said she's not going to listen. That's often the case, believe it or not. People tend to call back in. So I remember what you said, and I didn't do it. Figures.
Hello.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
you good?
So I have been talking to a girl for about 3.5 months now. We are a long distance couple. We met over social media.
Okay.
I'll give you a little bit of a rundown because I feel like it probably better demonstrates like where we're at and like how some of these things have probably came about just because of the distance and whatnot.
Yeah.
We live about, I won't give locations, but we live probably about 7 hours away. One weekend I went to a town that I used to go to college in, about 5 or 6 hours from me. And she lives about 2 hours from there. So this was an initial green flag for me. We had already been talking for a couple weeks at this point, and we were just gonna plan a day to just kind of hang out and see where it went. She went 2 hours out of her way and met up with me, and we hung out for the day. We had a great date. We weren't really intending it for it to be really that long, but we hit it off, and yeah, things went smooth. So after that, we kept up communication and whatnot. And we had went back and forth to see each other in our separate hometowns a couple of times after that, really just to make sure what we were getting into. And we clearly both liked each other. So I will say within some of that, there was instances where I would kind of question things and question our true compatibility and things of that nature, and it's always a little bit iffy when it's long distance, and especially if you don't really know somebody in full. So for me, it was just like a constant thing of feeling things out and trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I will say in instances of major compatibility, I think we do get along. She is somebody who's a Christian. I'm a Christian as well. She aspires a lot for herself. She's in school right now to become a nurse. I'm doing my own thing. She cares about her physical health, all these sorts of things. The one issue that I'm kind of not able to fully resolve is she is a very loving and caring and friendly person. But with that, she has some male friends that I'm not the fondest of. Now, these are hometown friends of hers. So she goes to school about 3 or 4 hours from her hometown. So these aren't even people she sees on a normal occurrence. But with that, she's a few years younger than me. So I don't know if this is like, I don't know if this is just like a maturity thing or what. But she wants to keep up with streaks on Snapchat with a few of these hometown friends. Now, these are friends that she has known since like early childhood. She knows the families, their families know each other. These are like tight knit bonds that I will say I wouldn't want to like separate her from her friends, but at the same time, the instance of this communication and upkeep being through like Snapchat and having to be like a daily thing, it just rubs me kind of the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's your question here?
So this has been kind of like a back and forth of us for a little while, and I've explained my position on the circumstance and how I feel about it, and she's constantly tried to present it in the best light possible, of course. Like, these are good friends of hers, and she doesn't want to cut something like that off. And I've tried to present it in the light of, yeah, like, it's cool, like, if you have opposite sex friends and whatnot. But the thing for me is just how that upkeeping seems a little bit more intimate, maybe, than I would be comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to present that, and I think she understands my position, but it doesn't seem like there's any room for her to budge. And it makes me feel kind of shitty, to be honest, because it becomes like sort of like a thought loop. Like, it gets better for me for a while if she reassures the idea and whatnot like that, but eventually it comes back around, and I bring it up in conversation because it's something that, I don't know, I kind of really would like resolved, and if not resolved from her end, just trying to figure out a better position from my end to see if it's something that I can just like grow with.
You said you want it to be resolved. What would that look like from your perspective?
From my perspective, it would look like I think upkeeping with friends and whatnot, for me personally, is, from her position, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt as well. These are people that live in her hometown. She don't live there no more. She doesn't really see them too often. So from her perspective, she feels like if she cuts something like this off, maybe she will lose these friendships. From my perspective, it's the intimate nature of it, and I would much rather them upkeep maybe through something like a text message or something like that. Maybe every so often, if they see something that reminds them of each other, or they want to converse in that nature. I think that's more than suitable and more than fair.
In what way is it?
Her,
in what way is it
what?
intimate? In what way is it intimate?
The Snapchat thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just like making time out of your day to send daily images to each other, and it's like a platform where messages disappear and stuff like that. I want to be able to trust her in full, but it makes me...
Hold on, real
I
quick.
don't know.
How frequently do you see her?
We see each other, so probably about once or twice a month.
Okay, and y'all 7 hours away?
Yes, sir.
How long have y'all been together?
We have been dating since the end of May.
Okay. Dating since the end of May. How old are you two?
I am 23 and she is 20.
Okay. I get your perspective. It's very natural for men and women, for that matter, to engage in some sort of, scientifically it's called mate guarding. It's natural, but I want to help you see reality a little bit. I would understand this perspective a bit more if this was like someone you were like living with or in your city. This is a long distance connection. She doesn't have to use Snapchat to talk to them and send inappropriate things. You see what I'm saying? You're already not there.
Yeah.
So what would be the reason for her to even try to hide anything via Snapchat? That tells me it's harm. What I can't say for a fact that it's harmless, but that tells me at least that the intention of using Snapchat is not to be sneaky, because there's no need to use it because you're not even there in the first place. Okay?
There's no need to use...
There's no need to use it for the potential intention that you may be causing this fear of yours, right? Because when guys usually think about this, they're thinking about it like it's probably used for sneaky behavior, or people are using it to send pictures so that the pictures disappear and stuff like that. Like, I get it, but you're not there. Normally that would be something that's kind of used in order to make you miss the signal, right? The meta point though is, if somebody wants to like cheat on you, bro, they're gonna do it.
That's the truth, and I've heard that, and like I get it. For me, I think that the position that more so bothers me is just I have no clue who these people are.
Okay,
So
I get it.
from that outside perspective, it's more to me like a leaving doors open thing, or a possibility for outside.
So you
interference
basically
that I would-
want to know what is the dynamic between the two of them. Like, are these past
Yes.
lovers, or are these like truly just childhood friends?
Yeah, and I mean, to her benefit, I mean, she's outlined that these are just childhood friends, and that it is nothing more than that. It is completely platonic. These are even family friends in some instances, and it's only a few guys. But at the same time, for me, I don't know if it's just like being around other men, like how people think, and there's some sort of uncomfortability there with any sort of possible interference, or just things of that nature.
I get it, but right now there's nothing for you to go off of to make you. So you're basically thinking about a possibility, but there's nothing that you directly observed that would make that a high likelihood. Correct?
Sure.
Okay, I get it. So I'm not gaslighting you here. Like, this is an
Yeah.
uncomfortable situation for men in general. So your the way that you feel about it is valid, but we have to focus on what we want in this situation. It will be different. I would tell you something different if you were observing like sneaky behavior. Like, you want to observe a cluster of red flags. That's normally the biggest red flag. If there's a cluster of them, you basically describe one-off scenarios. So if y'all got together, right, and then airplane mode was turned on, or you saw her get on her phone and she like kind of tilted the screen so you can't see what she was saying. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit more behavioral data that would suggest there's something sneaky going on.
Yeah.
All you have to go off of is, oh, like, how did you even know about these people? Did she just come out and tell you about their existence?
Nah, I mean, I initially, it was like one of our first few times hanging out, and I'm somebody, I don't know if this is just, I get really invested. Like, if I'm going to like get into a relationship, or I'm going to date somebody, I'm going to take them as seriously as possible.
Okay.
So for me, I'm not going to be out here messaging people, out here snapping people or whatnot. And I saw she was just hanging with me, and she opened up her Snap, and she was about to like message somebody or whatnot, and I saw there was a few people on there, and I was like, oh, like what's up? Like, what's up with this? Just like asking in passing, and she kind of gave me a little bit of an outline. And at first, when we were initially talking, she was messaging more people than that. It was probably about like half a dozen people, and then I had outlined my sort of uncomfortability with it, and she went ahead and she stopped messaging some of those people, and then the few that she is keeping up with now, she's had like long-term streaks with, which to me is kind of immature, long-term streaks with, or they're just like childhood friends. But that's how I initially like recognized it.
Okay. There's nothing right now that strikes me as a problem that needs to be solved. Still, observe, right? Meaning those cluster of red flags that I was talking about. Make sure. The reason why I'm saying it's not a problem to be solved is because you're talking about dating someone in their early 20s.
Yeah.
That's kind of the behavior to expect.
Yeah, that's
kinda
to
gonna
me.
be the
To me, it's almost weird. It feels like I mean, I'm only like 2.5 years older than her, but it seems like like even within that little bit of a gap, it seems like there's some sort of I don't really know how to explain it, but some sort of, I don't want to call it a maturity gap, but some sort of maturity gap maybe in revolving around social media and the use of social media and the impacts it can have on relationships and things of that nature.
Right. Right. So, you still can have your boundaries, right? Like you like, for example, if it's 11 p.m. and we're together and these guys are texting you, it's like, hey, I really prefer you not talk to other people while, we're spending time together, especially at night, right? Now, you can have boundaries over the situation, but you can't expect someone, especially this early in the connection, to start cutting friends off. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's,
So
I completely get it. I don't know. It is something that I'm just definitely kind of having to have sort of like a mind wrestle with.
you just observe, brother. Like, and this
Yeah.
isn't even really something to bring up, because I would tell you this: if there was something sneaky going on, you're basically training them how to hide it better. So you just observe and see if there's any cluster of red flags. Like, the way that you play this as a man is, the more desire your woman has for you kind of operates like a moat, right? It operates as a moat. I mean, it's like, it's harder to assess her if you're another man. Here's the thing: if you display anything that can be perceived as insecurity, it doesn't mean gaslight yourself, but if you display any traits that come across as insecure, that desire drops. Not all at once, but it does start to decline,
Yeah.
and that moat starts to dry up.
Yeah. That's something that I definitely, like, I realize, and at the same time, it like I said earlier, it kind of makes me feel a little bit shitty, because I recognize it in my own actions and whatnot, that I could be like doing more and like presenting my love more and presenting myself and the actions better. But when those thoughts come around, it's like it almost hinders my ability to do so as well, which I know is not great.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge what the reality is, like this conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
You gotta have something to battle those thoughts with,
Sure.
or else they'll just take over and then they'll become reality in your head. And then you can potentially ruin a bad connection. Because this can be something that, y'all are young. I can tell you how this plays out. Those guys you're talking to potentially will go off and get into their own relationships with girlfriends who are like, you're not going to talk to nobody else on Snapchat, right? So then the connections just naturally die off as time passes. Maybe you two close the gap, and now that she's able to get more attention from you because y'all are closer in proximity, she naturally doesn't want any attention from anybody else. So then she starts leaning back into the connection. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to play this strategically. And the way to play it strategically is to kind of battle those thoughts while at the same time observing reality. Because if you do start seeing the cluster of red flags, okay, well, now it might be a situation where you either have to address it or leave the relationship. Okay, so don't delude yourself by like being like, oh, well, I'm just tripping. Not always, but so far, there's nothing to suggest that this is going to be there's anything bad going on. This seems to be very normal behavior.
Sure. All right. Well, I do appreciate you. It is. I'll be honest. I've had a conversation like this with one of my boys as well, and he kind of had the same sort of end meaning. Just like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and you just have to assess. It's so much easier said than done, but
It is.
I know that's the case.
Look at every relationship you're in, bro, as practice for the big game.
Sure.
So you doing what I'm telling you to do is practice for, like, even if this relationship doesn't work out, you're more secure for the next one.
Sure.
You keep that mentality that everything is just practice, and that is beyond like dating. Just everything is practice. You keep that mentality, your life will improve across all conceivable categories. Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, brother. Best luck to you. All right.
Appreciate you. You have a good one.
You too. That was a good call. Yeah. Fellas, I just struggle with that. I used to struggle with that as well, so I get it. Because we know how men are. We understand that. And we also know sometimes women can put themselves in bad situations. And it's like, because here's the thing, like, I get why guys feel that way, Because if you take someone who cheats, right? A lot of the times it starts off harmless. You know what I mean? So, oh, we're just talking, we're just friends. And then it's like, oh, then you start developing a bit more feelings for the person, and it builds over time. And now before you know it, it's too late. It's too late. All right. Do we have any other callers? This might be the last one. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So I just needed some advice. I'm actively not in a relationship. I was actively talking to someone maybe about a month ago, and I kind of just needed some advice moving forward had I were to get in another situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So I normally don't date interracially. The last person that I was with, he was Nepali. And I've never been with someone outside of Black or African American, African. So the situation was we were talking for about three months, but we started off as friends, and we were friends for about 3 months, and then we started talking. Mm-hmm. There was a day where we were hanging out, and one of his cousins sent him a picture of a young Black woman on the back of a bus, and he sent the picture to him and was like, "This is Kimani. He was like, look, I found Kimani." And I'm Black, and it was so embarrassing. So I'm Black, and no one in his family's Black. He's not mixed with anything. He's just full Nepali. And so the cousin sent him that picture and basically said, "Look, I found Kimani." And so I peeped it. I saw it. And the person that I was with, I saw it, and he tried to hurry up and exit out of it and everything. I was like, "What was that?" He was like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just something dumb. It's just something dumb." And I looked at it, and then he peeped that I looked at it. He gave me the phone. He was like, "Here, you can respond." So I was already pissed off because he didn't take the initiative to try to defend me. He hid it. He hid it in a way, and I felt that was very negative. So that day I just left him completely. I just walked out his house and I didn't say nothing. That same night, his mom started to spam me and was just basically texting me "Hey, I'm really sorry. It was just a joke. That's just how the family jokes and everything. We accept you. We love you. That's just how they play around. I talked to them already. I talked to all the boys, and they said they're really sorry, and they were just playing, and that's just how we joke and everything." So I never responded to the guy I was dealing with at that time, nor the mother. It took me maybe about a week to decide what I was going to do moving forward. But I took that comment as racism. I felt like that was very racist. And I wasn't very appreciative of the whole situation. So I ignored his mother, and she started texting me saying, "If you respect me, you will have a conversation with me." And he just kept spamming back to back. So eventually, after I had my time, I eventually had a deep conversation with him, forgave him, and I said, moving forward, I would prefer you not to talk to that cousin. That's just what I said. That's the boundaries I set. Like I said, I never been with anyone outside of my own race. Mm-hmm. So this kind of put me back a little bit where I don't feel comfortable dating outside my race just due to this whole situation. Right. Because I never experienced that before, and I'm not racist, and it's I don't want to be with someone that's racist. And when I would bring that up to him, it kind of messed up the whole situation. I will be honest, every day I was kind of telling him I'm not comfortable. His family's racist, and he would say, The family, his extended family, the guy who said it made a comment about me, they don't live here. They live in a whole different state. He said that side of the family, they're all racist, but he said his mom, dad, sister, they're not. So it kind of like set everything back. We would argue every day about it because I felt that his family was racist, and I felt like I wasn't already accepted. The mother was very nice. I will say she was very nice to me. The dad didn't really interact as much. I will say when I would go over his house, the dad was just very, it's like you have to say something to him first for him to even acknowledge you. Let me think. Another scenario was his sister came home one day. She got in trouble with the school, and I guess the school sent the mom an email, and the sister made a comment, I guess, to another kid and called the kid a monkey. And the mom's reaction was just kind of like, oh, she didn't say anything about it. And so I kind of got defensive in that moment, was like, you don't say that. That was probably out of place for me to say that to her, but I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I'm not dealing with him anymore. I'm not. So I just want to put that out there. But like, how do you avoid like situations moving forward? Like, I just don't. I don't want to be in another situation like that, because I felt like when that situation happened, I didn't take the initiative and leave right then and there. I forgave him, try to see things through. My point, I just try to see things through. And we recently ended not too long ago. He was in contact with the cousin still after that comment was made. And I told him I would prefer him not to remain in contact with the cousin. So I wanted to know, is that even fair to tell someone you're dealing with, if they have a family member that is racist, that you prefer them not talking to them?
No, because what outcome is that optimizing for? If someone is already entertaining someone who is racist, you know what that tells me? Racism does not bother them. Because then they would already not really talk to that person.
Right.
So you didn't make him care about it. You just would create the conditions where he'll cover it up. You're asking how to avoid the situation in the future. Well, you could date men of your own culture. That's one thing that will solve this problem immediately. Second thing that will solve it is to just leave when you see anything like that. Like you already know that part though, because you said that, you regret not leaving. So those are really the only two things. What you're not going to do is stop them from caring about racism or make them care about racism. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, that makes sense. I just wanted, I need another person's perspective, because I never been in a situation like that before. And it was just very difficult, because I really did like him, and he wasn't racist himself or anything. He was very respectful towards me. I just felt like his family, it played a big factor in our relationship. It hindered a lot. Mm-hmm. Just the way his family was, how the mom wasn't correcting the daughter. It just felt like I wasn't accepted. I felt like I wasn't accepted, but at the same time, I was kind of looking past that, which that was my first mistake. And I don't know. I just need to make sure. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just get nervous when I come up here and talk in front of a lot of people. But, yeah, I just needed to know, moving forward, what do I do? Because now I do know that it is what you just said. It is wrong to tell someone to cut off a family member. I just felt like it was out of respect. That's something you do, if you're not okay. Because I know if I had a family member that disrespected the person that I wanted to be with, I would address it. And if the behavior is not changed, then I feel like that person needs to go. Because at that point, they're not respecting my relationship. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you, but understand that that was something that a desire that you generated from within. No one had to tell you to do that.
Okay. I got it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
No problem, dear. Best of luck to you, all right? I gotta be honest. When she said Nepali, I didn't know what we were talking about. You ever play video games? It's like there's a hidden character, like on Super Smash Brothers, just like a black outline. So I imagine her with a black outline, because I don't know what that is. But now I get it. I know what it is now, but I had no idea. Geography is not my strong suit at all. I just went with it, like he just went with that text message. So no more callers, but if you do have a question, you can drop it in the chat. Someone asked, how do we call in someone on Facebook? You got to be on TikTok. The callers are coming from TikTok, so I can't do anything about that. TikTok, if you are new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. So if I didn't get to your question today, I'll get to it then. But yeah, you could drop some questions in the chat. You heard in a poly? I think I heard that at first too. I'm like, you don't got the phenotype for poly, so this is interesting. But poly people tend to have a look to them, make you go like this. A little bit, not all the time, but most of the time. You just gotta sort of hold your breath a little bit. Sometimes with them poly folk, you know how they get down. You know how they get down. Just a little. Just a little. How frequent should long distance relationships see one another? That's really a preference based, man. There are some people, like in my experience, I can do like every other month. That's the max. That's at the upper limit. I can't extend further than that. But other people, it's like bi-weekly. They can't do it. If they can't see you bi-weekly, they can't do it. So it's good to get those preferences out the way at the outset, you know? Go ahead and get them preferences. But I will tell you this, when you enter into a long distance connection, the moment it becomes a relationship, you're on the clock. The moment it becomes a relationship, you're on the clock. A lot of long distance relationships fail because they just perpetually exist in this long distance state. You got to have a conversation and a plan as to how and when you're going to close the gap. Normally you got like 1.5 years at most to close that gap. Got 1.5 years, because if not, the default is going to be somebody is going to find somebody who's closer. I'm there every month or every other month. It ain't for the week. It's not for the week. It's not for the week. Only people who I know who can really like make every other month like play out are people who like have a lot going on. So their life is so full and so busy that they don't really feel the absence. I only can do every other month now because I run this business, so I always got something going on. But if I had a lot of idle time, no, I couldn't do that. What if they talk about moving to your state? Yeah, I mean, that works. That works. Because you're closer then, you know? Do you think a guy could end a relationship because he's not ready for a relationship? But he needs what? I think your comment cut off. I've been told my entire life I'm beautiful. I fell into addiction, but pulled myself out. Okay, thank you for the update. I'm glad to see you beat that. But did you have a question about it? Can't end a relationship for any reason. What do you mean? I did long distance while in the military. I was treacherous, right? Oh, so you're a military woman, huh? I know about y'all. I know about y'all. Huh? God sent me a baby and maternal love helped me. Nice. Nice. What about military men? I have no experience with those, but I have heard bad things. So I've heard nothing but bad things. So, man, everybody heard red flag in the military. Why do you think that is? I wonder why that is. Military and nurses. Nurses be the ones, man. I was talking to a nurse recently, and I was telling her, she was like, "Why do you think nurses got that stereotype?" I was like, for one, a lot of like popular girls from high, there's like a huge pipeline between like popular girl in high school to nurse. That's one reason. That's one reason. There's others, but that's one. Are you married? I am not. They're on base together. Imagine living in a neighborhood with your coworkers. Yep. What stigma do nurses have? That they cheat a lot of the time. It's not like 100% obviously, but stereotypes tend to be stereotypes for a reason. So it has been a observed pattern by enough people that it's entered the zeitgeist. My woman is a nurse. I promise she's different. I was about to say, give me her number, let me find out. But I can't say that on TikTok. No disrespect. No disrespect. But yeah, I mean, you can get, obviously, there's good ones. Cops too have not heard good things. Right. Absolutely. He went in and out of jail for 9 years. When he came out, he had a new person he was with, he met while he was in jail. Was he gay? Or do you mean he like had one of those pen pals? A lot of women talk to these men in prison for pen pals. I have a mutual who made she had an interesting insight about why women do that, and it's because when you get, it's a clearance rack. Like men in prison and jail, it's like a clearance rack for like more attractive men. So because they're locked up, it like their desirability drops for like the general population. So a woman can get a man who is aesthetically pleasing, more aesthetically pleasing than other men she could get in the wild. I said, interesting. Not saying if that's true or false, but there's definitely some truth to it. You'll sometimes see, like, I've never watched Love After Lockup, but I've seen clips on TikTok. Sometimes the guys look better than the women they're with. They're more handsome than she is pretty. So I can't say that's totally false, for sure. Can't say that's totally false. The women be big. Maya with the one-liner. That totally made sense. That's why it's a certain demographic, women who don't do that, right? I thought it was a very interesting insight. We've had a few call in because of that. There was one caller, she was dealing with a guy who was locked up, but she was just severely avoidantly attached. So for her, she wanted to be with someone who she couldn't really be with. Does that make sense? So she wanted some sort of connection, but then she didn't want the expectations and the degree of emotional intimacy that came along with it. So she got with somebody who was locked up. I was like, when he gets out, you're not going to deal with him anymore. You're going to have to plant some crack on him, get him back in there. That's what you got to do. Plant a little crack, get him back in there. My brother had a new wife. He messaging me every other day when he was locked up. It's a lot of desperate people out there, man. I'm a 33-year-old woman and never been in a relationship. Is there a stigma? Yeah, stigma, all right. Why do you think that is? Those men get out and see a new version of women, they going, right. I had a homeboy who was went to prison for 13 years, came out, got his prison girlfriend pregnant, and then immediately hit the streets. Well, you know where he's at all times, right? We had a long distance relationship now for 3 months this July, and we meet in mid-July. Hold on. Are you saying you're in a relationship with someone you've not met in person yet? I hope that's not what you're telling me. Come on, Jay Digital. Talk to me, baby. I hope that's not what you're telling me. You're not telling me. Because you've been on this live for a while, so I know you know not to enter a relationship with someone you've not met. Right? Right? We don't do that. We don't do that. You got to have an embodied experience with them first, brother. And this was the nurse too, right? Oh, a Haitian nurse. My brother, she grabbing ankles right now. And she not putting lotion on. She grabbing ankles right now. She not putting lotion on. Yeah, but we FaceTime it, Jay. FaceTime it don't count, man. FaceTiming does not count. That's not, until you have that experience in person, FaceTime is, you're building a fantasy of the person. Now, after you meet, FaceTime can build upon that. But before you meet, man, oh my brother. Now I don't think the nurse is different. See, before I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, he said shorty different. He said his nurse is different. And now I am seeing that this is a woman you've not met. So now I do think you're heading towards a bad time. A bad time. Stigma on social workers. I've not heard any stigma on social workers. There's stigmas on therapists though. And that is, you will never be right. You will always be wrong. And you're going to be the person who has the problem. I feel like you have to experience interracial dating first before judging. What do you mean? Come on, are you talking about your situation? Did somebody say something? Or are you talking about Jay Digital situation with the Haitian nurse? I was kind of confused here. What point were you making? I wonder if I'm beautiful and a good person. Why have I been unable to reach out and date? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. What's wrong with a long distance relationship? Nothing. There's rules that you need to abide by. I married a cheater and we have a daughter together. Okay, what's the question? Or are you just giving us an update? Are you in a relationship? No. How do I deal with him? Are you in a relationship with him or have you left? If you're in a relationship, I would say just communicate. Like, have him let you know when he needs to use the bed, when he wants to bring women over, and then you make yourself scarce. And why are you still in the same house? There will be a situation to leave, love. What should I look out for when meeting her? See if she smells like latex. He doesn't like to communicate and it makes me so mad. Gotcha. How to find true love? Talk to people. Yeah, talk to people. The more people you talk to, the more likely you'll find it. Dating problems are really just social problems. I wanted fifth date. Hold on. I wanted a fifth date in my house. I was not comfortable yet. Was I wrong? No, you're not wrong. I just had a baby and I have nowhere to go at this moment and I'm unemployed. When did you find out that he was cheating? When did you find that out? Do you find that you talk to more women or more men with low self-worth? It's really equal, man, to be honest with you. The situations that people find themselves in tends to match their self-esteem. How do you deal with someone that's hot and cold and unsure about you but shows signs of a future? I would leave them alone, brother. If they're unsure about you, I would leave them alone. You might be trying to earn love in that situation. So you find out somebody's unsure about you, you get into like, you put on the clown makeup, and you start making balloon animals and shit. And you don't need to do that. You start performing for love. So you're trying to control the situation instead of just embracing reality and making the best decision you can in that situation. Never allow yourself to get in that type of situation. No job, no man. That's good advice. You don't want to be fully dependent, not because you don't trust, just because that's wise. Well, unwise. He says he was just having fun. I ended it, but we still living together. Oh, just by that response, I know you got to get out of there. I already know that's a situation. If he said he was just having fun, that's his response to cheating on the mother of his child. Yeah, that's not serious. That's not serious. All right, people, I got to get going. I got a call coming up. If you want coaching, DM me the word coach. I'll help you navigate whatever situation you're in. Anxious attacher. There's a link in my bio for a video of my top 4 tips for everyone I give who's anxiously attached to help them navigate the situation. That will help you. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, that's it. Also, Dallas. We're going to Dallas August 14th through the 17th. If you're in the area or you want to travel, you should link up with the crew. It's going to be a good time, okay? But I'll talk about that more tonight. Appreciate the mods, appreciate the chat. I will see you all later.